Hello and welcome to my latest video. Now on this video, we are covering the career of contender young Loughrey, who, as you can see, had a massive career. Let us go through, starting with his main opponents. So young Loughrey, fought the great Jack Brayton on 2 occasions, scoring no wins, fighting 1 loss and 1 draw. He also fought and drew 2 terrible Terry McGovern, former world champion and Hall of Famer, before then gaining a win over former welterweight champion Honey Melody. Next up is contender and champion and a Hall of Famer Harry Lewis. Young Loughrey fought him to a draw. He then fought draws to Bob Mohar and former welterweight champion Mike Twin Sullivan, before then also losing 2 fights to the Hoosier Bearcat Jack Dillon. Next up is Dixie Kidd, whom also young Loughrey lost to, and then he also lost to the great defensive fighter Packy McFarland. Next up is Leo Florian Hook. Now, young Loughrey fought Hook on 5 occasions, scoring 1 win, 3 losses and 1 draw. He then also lost to the great middleweight Jeff Smith, before then losing singular fights to Jimmy Gardner and Jimmy Clabby, both of whom could probably join the hall for me. Next up is Griff Jones. Young Loughrey fought Griff Jones on 2 occasions, scoring 1 win and 1 loss. And he closes out this first slide, losing 2 fights, to contender Grover Hayes. So, first slide for young Loughrey. When we go on to slide 2, we see he fights Bill Mahag, scoring a win. He then fights capable young Otto on 3 occasions, scoring 2 wins with 1 loss and no draw. And then he has another trilogy, this time against Kid Lock. I've put Kif Lock, but it's Kid Lock. Now, young Loughrey scores 2 wins and fights 1 draw from the trilogy. So on the back of 2 trilogies, he then defeats Tommy Coleman in a singular fight, before then also fighting a draw against Phil Brock. Next up is Harlem Tommy Murphy, the latest trilogy for young Loughrey. This time he doesn't win the trilogy like he has the last 2. He scores 1 win, 1 loss and 1 draw, so splitting the trilogy. He then fights the capable young Earn on 2 occasions, scoring 1 win and getting a draw, before then losing singular fights to Dick Highland and Leech Cross. Before his next trilogy, this is against the Dane, Dick Nelson, who is on the ballot to join the hall but has not been admitted as yet. Now Dick Nelson, and young Loughrey, like I said, fought that trilogy and they split it, 1 win, 1 loss and 1 draw. Next up is excellent contender, who of course will be featured if he hasn't already. I don't think he has already. Willie Fitzgerald. Young Loughrey defeated him, and then he scored 2 wins over another fighter who will be featured, contender Unk Russell. Now, the final 3 names on here. The first is contender Paddy Lavin. Young Loughrey fought him on 2 occasions, suffering a loss with 1 draw, and he loses the final 2 fights on here to 2 individual opponents. The first being excellent middleweight contender Buck Kraus and young Ahern. So there's slide 2 for young Loughrey. When we go to slide 3, we see fights and losers to David Kurtz, before then closing out his ledger that I'm covering here with 2 fights against excellent middleweight and a fighter who beat multiple Hall of Famers himself, Jack McCarron. Young Loughrey gets no wins with 1 loss and 1 draw. So there are 52 fights highlighted there for young Loughrey. He scored 15 wins with 26 losses and 11 draws from those 52 fights. Now, young Loughrey, when we go on to his stat slides, he scored 22 knockouts, 15 knockouts in 3 rounds or less, and 4 in the first round. Now, Loughrey scored 0 KOs against champions, 0 KOs against Hall of Famers, and 0 KOs against pound-for-pounders. And as a pre-rating era fighter, young Loughrey scored 0 knockouts against rated fighters. Now, in terms of rounds boxed in his career, young Loughrey fought over 1,000, with a total of 1,115. He fought 0 title fight rounds and fought totals of 80 rounds against champions, 108 rounds against Hall of Famers, and 150 rounds against pound-for-pound fighters. Now, young Loughrey fought 9 rounds against top 10 fighters, obviously severely reduced numbers, and he fought 0 rounds against top 3 fighters and ring champions. But obviously, you know, even with the names mentioned, you know, even fighters like Willie Fitzgerald, you know, Leo Hook, McGovern, all these fighters, Honey Melody, they would have all been rated. He would have had quite a tally. So, leaving that, okay, let's go on to the slide against champions. And young Loughrey had 10 fights against champions, scoring 1 win with 7 losses and 2 draws. He defeated 1 individual champion, that was Honey Melody, and he scored knockouts over 0 individual rated champions. So when we go on to the Hall of Fame slide for young Loughrey, we see he had 14 fights against Hall of Famers, scoring 1 win with 9 losses and 4 draws. Now, he defeated 1 individual Hall of Famer, scoring just the 1 win from the 5 fights against Leo Florian Hook, and he scored 0 knockouts against Hall of Famers individually. So for young Loughrey, we go on to the pound for pound slide. Now, this is his largest tally, okay, 19 fights in total. Young Loughrey scored 2 wins, 13 losses and 4 draws from those 19 fights, and he defeated 2 individual pound for pounders. One was the champion and the other was the Hall of Famer. So he defeated 2 individually, Leo Hook and Honey Melody, and he scored 0 knockouts over pound for pound rated fighters individually. So there we are. Okay, let us go on to our next slide, which is rated opponents. Now, as I pointed out, young Loughrey was a pre-rating era fighter, and ultimately thus heavily reduces what numbers he would have had. He only manages 1 fight against top 10 fighters, what is a defeat. He has 0 fights against top 3 fighters and 0 fights against ring champions. Young Loughrey thus defeated no individual rated fighters and also scored knockouts over 0 individual rated fighters. And when we go on to the title fight slide, young Loughrey, another one who never had a world title fight, so he has no win, no loss, no draw with 0 defences and title fight KOs. Obviously, he scored 0 wins against rated opponents over the 3 categories featured, and he scored 0 wins against champions, Hall of Famers and pound for pounders in title fights. So with no title fights, onto the title 1 slide, okay, we can see he captured no world titles. He also captured no lineal titles nor any undisputed titles. So was young Loughrey a great fighter? No, he wasn't a great fighter. He was a tough, rugged contender who would pretty much fight a who's who, you know, from Britain to Hook to Melody to McGovern. The names go on. He also fought many tough contenders, you know, in his time. He could give many fighters a hard fight, couldn't win the bulk of his fights, but still, for his incredibly tough career, deserves respect. So there is young Loughrey. Okay, he's my latest career video. Many more videos coming over the coming days, weeks, months and years. I am the Boxing Librarian, and I'm out for now.